Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So we're going to get caught up with some Yona of the Dawn today, and then hopefully Spy Family and some Kaiju videos. I meant to get caught up with some Akane Banashi and some other series last weekend. Unfortunately got a little bit sick, so I wasn't able to get around to those. But like I mentioned in my Yona of the Dawn Volume 17 read-through, I'm going to hopefully be caught up with Akane by month's end. So hopefully by December I'll be able to do read-throughs for that series, or do weekly reviews for that series as the chapters are coming out. With regards to that, apart from that, before we dive into the content here, I just want to say if you do like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Because pushing buttons helps me tell the YouTube algorithm that my content is worth promoting. So if you'd like to help me out with that, that would be greatly appreciated. Especially with Twitter now slowly imploding. I don't know how good that site is going to be anymore for kind of promoting or boosting my content. So if you haven't subscribed already, now would be the best time and the best way to keep current with it. So without further ado, we're going to dive into it with Yona of the Dawn, Volume 18 here. So we pick up with Chapter 100, A Body That Cannot Be Injured. We'll pick up where we left off with all the dragons and Yona just looking stunned at Zeno's regenerative ability. As Yona's like, Zeno? The soldier's like, what? How? His wounds healed? It's like, that's impossible. It's like, but you saw, didn't you? It's like, you must have imagined it. You stabbed and missed, that's all. It's like, but I'll make sure he's dead. And you have a Zeno! As the soldier just kind of runs up and spears him through the peck again. Jeff, see? Right through the heart. Now he's... Oh, man. As you're watching, you see the stab wound is kind of slowly closing up. And Zeno just kind of gets up with a stagger. The soldier screams and goes, what is he? His injuries? His body? It's like, it's a trick. I've seen so many comrades lying dead with their guts everywhere. This is too ridiculous to be real. Oh, man. The series goes out on the brutality. It really goes out on the brutality. See the soldier's lashing out with the sword as he cuts off one of Zeno's arms. And it's just gushing blood. He's like, I'll hack you to bits. And Zeno goes, young lady, lend me your sword. Put the water on me. And as he's doing that, you see the soldier slashing off his other arm. He's like, there! What the fuck, bro? You see the next chapter, like you see the decapitated hand just holding the sword from behind the soldier. It's like, and you have a, and you have a, gah! It's like the arm moved on its own and stabbed him. And you see one of the soldiers just lying down. The sword gets pulled out. He goes, if you're so scared of me, could you please leave? I'm not especially strong. Oh, God. And you see like his severed arm just kind of reattaching itself. He goes, so I can't afford to toy with you. If you attempt to harm the young lady, I'll try for fatal attacks. Jeff, someone help! Kill this guy! Kill the monster! And you see a bunch of soldiers just like riding towards him. And Yona's like, Zeno! And he just smiles at her. Oh my God. And as you see, as he's running, the other arm comes back and reattaches and starts regenerating. Jeff, what is that? You see Juno just running straight ahead as he spears another soldier through the chest. They fall with the wood. Oh my God, man. This really is a brutal chapter. You see another one just slashes him across the face. And you can see like part of his jawbone and like teeth being exposed. And it starts closing up again. And you see a bunch of soldiers rushing him and just spearing him through. Java, die! Just die! And whole Yona looking all horrified. Just going, stop it! Oh my God, you see one of the other soldiers just like hacks off his head with a thud as he topples over like, is he dead? I cut off his head. No one could survive. And you see his hand just in the dirt just like clutching it. Oh my God. And you see a crick as he stands up and you see his head just reattaching itself again. He's like, what are you? How are you moving? Why aren't you dead? And Zeno's like, I finally found her. Tear me apart all you please, I'll still shield them. He just dashes towards them. As the soldier's like, stay back! And he tries to slash him. And you see as he does, like, it just comes with a stop, the clap. Huh? My sword, it's not... And you see the dragon scales just like showing up on Xeno's face, and he goes, yeah, you can't cut me now. Oh, Lord. And you see him just grabbing the soldier's face and slamming him into the ground. You see the scales will kind of like spread all over his arm as well. As another soldier tries to come rushing at him again, he grabs his sword with his hand and just snaps it and lashes out with a kick. And you see all the soldiers just running away from him in fear. What's happening? And Giju's like, Xeno! The monster's coming this way! He kind of leaps into the air and crushes another soldier into the ground with a thum. And as he's there, he's like, hey, you all okay? It's like, Xeno? It's like, good, still alive. It's like, how is this possible? It's like, if no one attacks me, I'm powerless, useless. But each time I regenerate, this body hardens like steel. Right now, I have the strength of the white dragon, and I can kick like the green dragon. It's like, well, unlike all of you, I have no limits. I can fight for centuries. Come on, I have all the time in the world. Ah, damn. You see, the soldiers, they're retreating. And you see Yona going, Xeno! Running forward as he picks up the little, medallion he's wearing. You have Xeno! It's like, oh, young lady, are you all right? See all the dragons kind of rushing in, just like hug him. It's like, careful, you're all injured. See tears just streaming down her face. As he goes, it's all right. Xeno's still alive. It's like, you're all so adorable. You have chapter 101, The First Dragons. And Yona's kind of just looking at the torn off piece of his shirt, and he's like, how are you all feeling? It's like, a lot better, thanks to Colgun's medicine. It's like, the medicine helped, but being back in Coca is helping even more. It's like, you're not feverish anymore, but you're still injured. Keep resting. It's like, that was a terrible battle. It's like, no, my one great regret is I didn't get a good look at Sinha's eyes when he removed his mask. And poor Sinha's just like shuddering, and he's like, he really works hard to hide him, doesn't he? And Giju's like, stop that, you're making him uncomfortable. It's like, but his eyes are said to possess an otherworldly beauty. And Sinha's like, that's not true. It's like, Sinha, you spoke. And Jeha's like, I have to see for myself. It's like, Jeha. It's like, you're all so lively. And after being so badly injured too. This is great. And you see Jeha kind of grabbing his arm, like pulling his sleeve up. He's like, what is it? Like, you had the worst injuries. Your wounds and scales are gone. It's like, after a while, Xeno goes back to normal. He's like, you really can't die? He's like, nope. He's like, how old are you? And he's like, 17. They're all like, liar. It's like, you said that you could fight for centuries. How many years are you not counting? And he's like, huh? It's like, Xeno doesn't really remember. Trying to keep track is a bother. That says a lot about how old you are. And Gija goes, Xeno, are you one of the first? Oh, God. Knew it. He is immortal. He goes, yes. I am one of the original dragons who served the Crimson Dragon King. Xeno the Yellow Dragon. And Yona's like, from the age of myths? You were given blood from the dragon gods? It's like, I forgot that happened. Long ago, I was just a boy who could faintly hear the voice of God. And Yun's like, the voice of God? It's like, yes, just like that priest you used to live with. It's like, have you always looked like this? It's like, ever since I drank the dragon blood. The yellow dragon is the undying one. It's like, and your village? You said you left it a long time ago. It's like, that's right. It's like, I meant the village where I was born. That village is long gone. If you're thinking of one like the White Dragon village, it doesn't exist. It's like, then you've been alone all this time? It's like, well, Xeno was married once. You see them all just looking darkly at him. It's like, what? It's like, married? Married? It's like, if you live a long time, you're bound to get married. Jeha's like, I suppose. But I don't have a village. It's like, thanks to this body, I've been to many places and never settled down. Many people and dragons have lived and died. I've seen foolish and wise rulers, and all along, I've been waiting for the Crimson Dragon King to be reincarnated. Waiting for you, young lady. She's like, me? It's like, I'm the reincarnation of the Crimson Dragon King? It's like, so it's true? I knew it! So, but why didn't you show yourself when Her Highness started searching for the 4 dragon warriors? And Zeno goes, this may not be the best way to put it, but I was testing her. I wanted to see if she was worthy of wielding the power of the legendary dragons. I was watching when the young lady was driven from the palace, when she went to the White Dragon Village, and when she faced the dangers of the Blue Dragon Village in Awa. When she left Awa, I felt she could be trusted, so I went to her. It's like the reincarnation of the Crimson Dragon King? But I don't have any powers. Jeff, the Crimson Dragon King was an ordinary human too. You don't have to live your life the way he lived his, but I decided to follow you. So, is that it for questions? Happy? And that's enough of this. Let's have lunch. And Hyun's like, wait a second. Is that it? You found Yona after living all this time. Isn't there anything you want to tell her? And he's like, is there something Zeno should say? So are you going senile? And Huck's like, why didn't you mention any of this? It's like, even if Zeno told you, it's not a big deal. The Yellow Dragon's powers don't do anything unless Zeno's seriously hurt. And Jaeha's like, married, huh? What are you looking at? So the person Jaeha thought was the youngest suddenly seems like a real adult. Jeff, let's eat, lad. It's like, you're so blasé. And you see later that night, Zeno is stuffed. Time for bed. And you see Jaeha just kind of carrying the loads of sheets off and going, I'll carry that. Or, sorry, Gija, not Jaeha. It's like, hey, you're injured. It's like, it's too much for your elderly body. Zeno's like, elderly body? And as they're walking along, you have, what is it? It's like, all my life, I've wanted to meet one of the original dragons, even though it was clearly impossible. It's like, haha, your wish came true. He's like, but here you are, right in front of me, and I don't know what to say. The Crimson Dragon lived 2,000 years ago. All that time, it must have been excruciating for you. Zeno's like, you're overreacting. It's like, if you'd come to the White Dragon Village, we and our ancestors would have welcomed you. Except, it's not that simple, is it? You and Sinha and Jaeha are all dragons. I've been tremendously privileged, haven't I? What's so funny? Privileged or not, you're still amazing. Listen, the previous white dragons were so desperate for a king that they acted like vengeful spirits. It's like, I haven't lived long enough. It's like, oh, Your Majesty, please hurry. It's like, latched on to every new white dragon that came along. But you've had the willpower to keep that negativity at bay. You've embraced vengeful spirits from over thousands of years and taken them in. So but you haven't let them taint you. You've even gotten them to obey you. And you've done it all unconsciously. And you see Jaeha just being clueless. You see like these images of like these spirits around him fighting, going, don't push me, you jerk. It's like, the same to you. Don't bother the young master or I'll curse you. And Zeno's like, in some ways, you remind me of the first white dragon. It's like, really? It's like, yeah. You always charge headlong into things like a wild boar. It's like, a wild boar? It's like, I know how hard you've worked to get where you are. And Zeno just kind of pats him on the head. You see later that night as they're sleeping, he kind of just looks over at everyone and just smiles. It's like, the 4 dragon warriors. It's like, I'm not distinguished or powerful. I don't have the makings of a warrior. And see, this is him thinking back to his first meeting with the dragon. It's like, but if I can make this world and everyone in it a little happier, then I will. Except the dragon blood. And you see, hurrah! And look out, Your Majesty! Oh. I assume this is... Oh yeah, it's a flashback to the Crimson Dragon King. So you see a babier Zeno kind of stepping in front of the Crimson Dragon King as one of the soldiers is trying to attack him. You see a shunk and a thud as the first white dragon kind of speared him through the chest. You have White Dragon. You have Stand Back, boy. You have and a thump, and then you see the first blue dragon just knocking down a bunch of soldiers as well, and then toppling from the exertion. It's like, are you all right, Blue Dragon? It's like, you're in the way. And you scuff. And you see a shunk as another soldier kind of comes up behind trying to stack him down. And you see the green dragon spears him from above. It's like, the same goes for you. You're in the way every time you use your powers and wind up paralyzed. Go home, Blue Dragon. You have Green Dragon. Focus on the battle, Green One. It's like, shut up. Don't give me orders, White Dragon. And you see Zeno kind of just looking at all the bloodshed and trying not to throw up. You have Zeno. Stay behind me. I won't allow any harm to come to you. You have the Crimson Dragon King and the 4 dragon warriors with dragon blood. This is where our bond was forged. You have chapter 101 end. You have chapter 102, the children of God. You have long, long ago, the Crimson Dragon King became human and was served by 4 warriors with dragon blood. He founded the kingdom of Coca. You really have baby Zeno with Yellow Dragon. Please spend some more time with the training grounds. With no leader, it's difficult to keep the soldiers in line. Even if I'm there, I can't train them like White Dragon can. You're a much better leader than me. Please do well by them. You have Yellow Dragon. Yellow Dragon! You have, hey, good for nothing. You really are useless for training. You've got no power at all. You have the first Green Dragon, Shuten. You should train him for me. No way am I training people from other tribes, you idiot. You're so narrow-minded, Green. We're brothers, bound by the blood of the heavenly dragons. You have the first White Dragon, Gwen. As our leader, brother, be a man and show us how it's done. And Shuten's like, your brother? Me? Don't make me puke. We're nothing but strangers who happen to drink some blood. I only trust in my own powers. I don't care about powerless wastes of space. And you have a clang as he smacks his spear butt down. So annoying. Huh? Your voice, I mean. You have the first Blue Dragon, Abi. It's then allow me to shove this spear through your ears, Blue Dragon. I'll paralyze you first. The White Dragon going, let me play too. You have you guys. You have Gwen, Abi, Shuten, Zeno. You all seem to be getting along. You have Crimson Dragon King. And Shuten's like, you call this getting along, you dim-witted king? It's from my point of view, my beloved dragons are playing together. You have rinse your eyes, your majesty. You're too young to go so senile. You have an ouch. You have a, what's wrong, Zeno? It's your majesty, I'm not suited to leading our troops or being a tribe leader. Those tasks should fall to someone else. Of the dragon warriors, I'm the only one with no strength. I'm a nuisance on the battlefield. He said the yellow dragon gave him a sturdy body, but that's a lie. The other day he tripped and skinned his knee. And Zeno's like, but I heal very quickly. It's you do? It's yeah, if I get hurt, I heal right away. That's the yellow dragon's power. And the White Dragon's like, young people tend to heal fast. It's no, not like this. Here, watch. He just smacked his fist down onto a rock. He's like, ow. It's are you stupid? That was dumb. What are you doing? It's hey, are you okay? You're bleeding. As the grabbing his hand was like the scar was with the blood, you can see it's instantly healing. Jeff, the injury's gone. It's see? Amazing, huh? It's hey, I didn't get a good look. Let me cut you with my spear and see. It's no, you'll kill me if you do that. Injuries still hurt. You have the blue dragon going, yellow dragon's only power is quick healing? That's not enough to be useful in battle. Yeah, I don't need powers to hurt people. This is better suited to me. Isn't it, your majesty? It's the majesty just kind of rushing in to kind of give him a hug. It's your majesty? What's the matter? And he takes off the medallion he's wearing and hands it to Zeno. And he goes, when I descended to this land, the dragons gave me this. Now I'm bestowing it on you. It's a reminder that I'm always with you. Yeah, the other dragon's kind of sneaking up on him going, hey, huh? It's only he gets something. It's give me one. He's oh, it's the only one I had. They're all just shocked. Did you want one? I was no, of course not. I don't need that, baka. Stop laughing. You have the 4 dragon warriors didn't exactly get along, but as long as the Crimson Dragon King was with us, I felt a connection between us. You have a soldier running up going, your majesty, warlords from the north have invaded my lands. Your majesty, please let me... And you see the White Dragon going, your majesty, please let me handle this. I'll put an end to it. You have during this time, the tribes belonging to the Crimson Dragon King and the 4 legendary dragons quashed the unrest in their surrounding areas and expanded the domain of the kingdom of Coca. And you have a, gonna collapse again, Blue Dragon? Shut up. Next time I'll hold out. Just stay in bed. I'll take on their entire army by myself. You have an, oh, I'm going too. And you have war never ends. Thank you to our little friend in the Kai Empire. And you see Yona and Ko saying goodbye to Kalagun as Xeno's still flashing back. And we see the Crimson Dragon King going, is eternal peace just a dream? And Xeno's like, I'll help. I may not be very powerful, but I... And he goes, don't fight. Stay behind me. So even before then, the Crimson Dragon King had never allowed me to fight. But from this point on, he never let me stand in front of him. The white dragon, the blue dragon, and the green dragon were revered as gods in the battlefield. But they were also feared and targeted because of their strength. One had a sharp claw that could tear through anything. One had eyes that could see for great distances. One had a leg that let him leap high into the heavens. And one... And you see a Fwish as they're standing on the battlefield looking all beaten and bruised as the blue dragon kind of falls over from exhaustion. And the white dragon's like, they're still coming. It's like, you have a boy, get blue dragon to safety behind us. And Xeno's like, but... It's like, if you get hurt, our dim-witted king will be devastated. Get going. One had a sturdy body that couldn't be harmed. It's like, but I've never been injured. It's like, our king would also be devastated if either of you, got hurt. Yeah, I'm one of the 4 dragon warriors too, but I can't protect anyone. And you see it, no! As one of the soldiers kind of rushing towards him. And he slashes down Xeno. Jeff, it hurts so much. He cut me. I'm gonna die. Do you have an E? The soldier kind of backs away from him in fear. You see Zona kind of sitting up in shock as his wound starts to heal. Jeff, no! A monster! Xeno's like, what? What's going on? He cut me open, but... It's like, my head is spinning. I feel so nauseated. You see later, it's like, Xeno, thank you for always bringing me food. Like, it's no problem. It's extra tasty today. It's like, wonderful. Jav, His Majesty is so thin now. He gets sick so often and he barely has the strength to smile. When did he become like this? Jav, It's like, oh, White Dragon scarfed down his food while Blue Dragon and Green Dragon looked disgusted. Remember when he used to fight about those things? It's like they've really mellowed out. It's like, true, Abi and Shuten have grown up. Xeno's like, grown up? That must be a good thing. It must be. I'm not sure why, but watching them grow up fills me with fear. Crimson Dragon King's like, Xeno, come closer. What's wrong? You seem down. Something worrying you? I won't sleep well if there's something on your mind. It's like, Xeno? It's like, Your Majesty, does your body hurt? It's like, Well, yes. My body's not what it used to be, but that's natural. I'm aging. It's fine. And Xeno's like, my body doesn't hurt at all. I never get tired. I never get sick. If I get injured, it hurts. But the wound vanishes like it was never there. I still have so much energy. Everything about this is terrifying. What is the Yellow Dragon's true power? Do you know, Your Majesty? You have a few days later. Our king went to sleep and never woke up. We never heard his voice again. Of chapter 103, My Lord Sleeps. The 4 dragon warriors shed tears for their king, stilled by death. Whether they wept from sorrow over losing someone so dear to them, or whether the tears of grief sprang from the dragon gods whose blood they carried, they could not say. Jeva, hey, you guys, come on, hurry! You see, it's snowing outside. Xeno's like, it's a beautiful morning. Get going before everyone wakes up. And Shuten's like, it's freezing. It's like, you sound like an old man, Green Dragon. It's like, oh, shut up. Just because you still have young bones. You have a And White Dragon's like, Yellow Dragon, do you really intend to remain at the palace? You have the Crimson Dragon King had brought the nation under control. But smaller conflicts were always brewing. Even after the king passed away, the other 3 dragon warriors were often called on to fight. Then a few days ago, Blue Dragon was captured by people who wanted the power of the dragon warriors. White Dragon and Green Dragon were able to bring him home safely. But since then, Blue Dragon has hidden his eyes and hasn't left the Crimson Dragon King's mausoleum. Our very existence was becoming a source of conflict. Jeva, you can't mean it, White Dragon. Do you truly intend to leave the palace? Green Dragon, we still need your strength. He goes, listen, this new era doesn't need powers like ours. You need to move forward and build a new nation led by the prince. You have the prince is still young, and the presence of the dragon warriors helps deter conflict. You have, I'll stay here. I'll stay to protect everyone. Don't worry. You see them looking at Zeno in surprise. It's like, I don't think he alone can. It's like the yellow dragon. And he takes out the little medallion that Dragon King gave him and goes, the Crimson Dragon King received his dragon crest from the heavens, and he bestowed it on me. In other words, I am the heir to his majesty's will. I will relay the voice of the heavens to you. Ah, the Crimson Dragon King, the crest of the heavens, of the dragon gods. So if you have faith in the voice of the heavens, your peace will never be disrupted. Anyone who threatens it will be punished. You have yellow dragon, yellow dragon. So the yellow dragon will serve as our priest. It's like, yellow dragon. It's like, I can't abandon the queen and the prince. I'll act as a priest for a while to appease those in the palace. Don't worry about it. Get going. Once the prince is grown, I'll casually make my exit. And the white dragon's like, when you do, come to my home. It's like, huh? When you leave the palace, come visit me. Got it? I'll be waiting for how many ever years, even if I'm an old man by then. He smiles and goes, okay. So come see me too and bring booze. I can't imagine you settling in one place, Green Dragon. And you see Blue Dragon. So let me see your eyes one last time. It goes Abby, and he thinks back to the Crimson Dragon King saying Abby. And you see he's just tears streaming down from the blindfold. And Zeno's like, your beautiful eyes are puffy. It's like, perhaps I shouldn't have called you by your name. It's like Abby. It's like little Abby. You see all the dragons kind of just hugging it out for one last time. So yeah, listen up here. We're brothers who all have dragon blood. Even if we're far apart, we can hear each other's blood calling. The Crimson Dragon has returned to the heavens. Someday we'll return there too. Our souls are connected. The blood of us four dragons and our bond with the Crimson Dragon will never disappear. Let's meet again someday, my brothers. You have Gwen, Abby, Shootin. I'm sorry. My soul will probably never return to the heavens. This body probably can't ever go anywhere. And you see there's like a short montage of all the dragons having gone their separate ways. And you see, Shootin's on the move again. Abby and Gwen seem to have settled down. But it feels like their presences are growing fainter. It's been 20 years since I last saw them. In this palace where the Crimson Dragon King rests, I constantly find myself searching for the presence of the dragon warriors. You have a priest, like Yen's King Yakushi. Warlords from the south are directing their troops towards Koka. He's like, what? Should we intercept them? It's like, no. I want to avoid civilian casualties as much as possible. That was the Crimson Dragon King's wish. And Yakushi's like, but... And Zeno's like, all will be well. I'm sure that the heavens will guide us in the right direction. It's like, is that true? It's like, the truth is, I haven't heard the voice of God since that first time. And you see him changing out of his robes and going, grabbing a sword and going, for the past 20 years, aside from petty squabbles, I've handled things by myself, just as Gwen and the others used to. And you hear a scream as he's riding off on horseback. Yeah, Gwen's presence is nearly gone? Abby and Shootin's heartbeats are weak too. And you have him just clutching the medallion with a thump. It's like, it's only me. I really am the only one who never changed. Gwen, I'm sorry you told me to visit you, but I was afraid. I was too scared to see you grow older. Gwen, hold on. Don't go. Abby, Shootin. In the old days I wasn't much help, but I'm a little more useful now. And you see him just like as he's pulling out the sword to this invading army. It's like, I hate combat. But when I do this, I feel like I'm by your sides again. Now. God. Let's protect the Crimson Dragon King together. You have just a shot of this solitary Speron. This one person just standing together against the army. And you see as Gwen's lying on his deathbed, he goes, Zeno. It's like, Lord Gwen, what's the matter? It's like, he's such an idiot. I told him to come see me. He's kept me waiting too long. And as he closes his eyes, like, Lord Gwen, rest well. First White Dragon, thank you for your service. You can see in the middle of the battle that Zeno kind of like feels his presence leaving. And he kind of staggers as he goes, Gwen. And the soldiers all kind of cut him down and then spear him with their blades. And as he's mourning, him kind of just still gets back up with the blades all pierced through him. He's like, monster! Finish him off! Kill him! And you see the dragon's power kind of taking effect as he starts smashing into the soldiers. He's like, Your Majesty, Gwen, Abi, shooting! Don't go! Don't leave me behind! As we get to chapter 103 end. Next page you see him just wandering through like this mountainous area as it's raining and he kind of trips and falls. You have chapter 104, a small boat that goes nowhere. You have, I'm hungry. Strange. It's not as if I can starve to death. There's nothing left that I care about. I want to keep lying here forever. I wonder how many years it's been. When the palace folk started to be disturbed by how I never ever changed, I appointed a priest to succeed me and made my exit. Then I noticed something peculiar. Even after I knew Gwen and the others had died, I still felt the presence of the dragon warriors. When I traced one back to its source, I found a small group of people who worship dragons in secret. And there among them, you see the small child with the dragon arm. And as he's running away, you have a, who goes there? You have, was a white dragon I'd never seen before. And he thinks back to Gwen telling him, I'll be waiting for how many ever years, even if I'm an old man by then. He's like, I'm such an idiot. They're all gone now. No amount of regret can change that. And you see the next page has been resting in some house. And this young dark-haired woman comes in and goes, oops, I broke it. Oh well. It's like, you're awake? Here, I'll dish up some food for you. I'm Kaya. You collapsed by the roadside. I'm glad you're alive. Your clothes were so bloody I thought you had to be dead. But now I've got them washed and dried for you. I undressed you and put those clothes on you instead. Is that all right? Please don't be embarrassed. It's like, is something the matter? He's like, my necklace. It's like, huh? Where's my necklace? He's like, oh, you mean this? And she picks it up from a little side table and he kind of snatches it out of her hand and cradles it close. It's like, sorry for taking it off. I wasn't trying to steal it. Here's some food. It's like, you must be famished. Eat up. It's plain, but it's like, no need. It's like, without food, you'll die. He's like, I want to die. He kind of just like hugging himself as he's grieving. You see later that night with a cough, as Kaya's kind of like near sleeping nearby. Zeno's like, hey, are you all right? He sees that she's coughed up some blood. He's like, oh, sorry to wake you. I'm fine. This is normal. He's like, it's normal? He's like, I have an illness. I live alone so no one else will catch it. Sorry for not telling you. I was going to send you on your way once you ate something. You should go as soon as possible. And Zeno kind of looks around at her decrepit house. And he kind of grabs her up in his arms and goes, and she's like, it's not a good idea for you to be this close because, it's like, I won't get sick. And she's kind of just wobbling and stumbling. And then she's just kind of laughing at him. It's like, if you laugh, it's harder to carry you. It's like, am I heavy? It's like, telling me not to laugh makes it harder not to. It's like, no, I'm just weak. Like, sorry, I didn't thank you for giving me what little food you had. It's like, it's not that big a deal. He kind of puts her into bed and like pulls up the blankets. Like, what's your name? It's like, huh? Zeno. It's like, Zeno. That's easy to remember. It's like, I'd almost forgotten it. No one's called me my name for many years now. It's like, if you think you might forget it, you should refer to yourself by it. Kaya lives alone, so she does that sometimes. It's like, that's kind of childish. She goes, I'll remember your name. I haven't talked to anyone in ages. Talking to you was fun. It's like, yeah, for me too. It's like, today was a good day. Goodbye, Zeno, when she closes her eyes. He's like, Kaya! He's like, what? He's like, huh? He's like, oh, good. You're not dead. He's like, no, still alive. But you should get going. That's why I said goodbye. And he's like, you nursed me back to health, so I'll return the favor. So you don't need to repay me. So don't make that face, Zeno. I'll admit, I'd like to have someone to talk to. And you see the next page is kind of like the normal Zeno we know now. He's like, Kaya! As he comes back like a basket of vegetables. It's like, where'd you get all those, Zeno? It's like, I worked hard so the boss gave me a raise. I'll make something delicious with these. It's like, I stayed with Kaya while I earned money. You have them both going, yay! It's like, Kaya, you chop the vegetables unevenly. They're not cooked right through. It's like, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's like, are you sure? It's like, entirely. It's like, that's fine then. It's like, Kaya, I have a gift for you today. It's like, wow, it's so pretty. He puts a little flower in her hair. It's like, look what I got. He's like, so cute, so cute. And you see like a little montage of them just like getting together, like folding clothes, like gathering some grain and things. And you see, I wish time would hold still. And you see as she's walking away, you see later with a thud as she collapses, coughing up some more blood. He's like, I'm fine. He's like, Zeno? He's just like piling some boxes on her. He's like, you're crushing me. He's like, I thought you might feel less cold with weight on you. He's like, you're so funny, honestly. He's like, hold on a sec. It was here. It's like, it's so warm. What is it? It's like, I heated a stone and wrapped it up. When it cools, I'll make another. I'll make lots of them so you can sleep nice and warm. It's like, listen, Zeno. You've repaid me so many times over. It's more than enough. You don't need to look after me anymore. It's like, do you not like being with me? It's like, of course I do. Every day's wonderful. But I'm always scared I'll get you sick. I can survive on my own. It's like, I told you, I won't get sick. It's like, you're overworking yourself to pay for my medicine. It's like, I enjoy working, so that's okay. It's like, I want to keep talking with you forever. It's like, I want to stay with you forever. It's like, forever is impossible. It goes, Kaya, will you marry me? God. And she just gets taken aback and then embarrassed. And she just starts wailing out loud. And you see later, as Zeno's standing outside, he clutches the little medallion and goes, hey, dragon gods, why won't you show yourselves? Please show yourselves to me. Please save Kaya. Since you gave me eternal life, you should be able to extend Kaya's life too. Please save her. I want to be with her as long as possible. If I can make that happen, I don't need anything else. I don't care if I can never die. I will be your slave forever. Dragon gods. Dragon gods. Like, save Kaya. It's like, no matter how long I yelled, they never replied. And you see later, Zeno's like, yes. It's like, thank you. Let's meet again up in the sky. It's like, yeah. Oh, jeez. That is a heartbreaking panel. So you have chapter 105, The Crimson Star Rises. You have hundreds of years must have passed. I didn't really keep track. At the moment, 5 tribes hold power in Coca. Rebellions for control of the throne are frequent. There are minor squabbles with warlords from other nations, but they don't confront them with swords and armies like they used to. People are born with a physical body. They learn and go back to heaven. So that's their destiny, or something like that. Under the crushing weight of time, my body sometimes took the brunt of my frustrations. But each time, it's like this dragon crest soothed my broken heart. The king realized my fate all those years ago. By giving me this amulet, he asked the dragon gods to protect me. When I left the palace, I entrusted the crest to the priest who succeeded me. Letting it go was hard. But with the Crimson Dragon King gone, the people needed something to unite them. They needed this. They needed this symbol, a symbol of God. But then, shortly after I left the palace, you see a clink as it just appears back around Zeno's neck. You have the crest came back to me. Was it the will of the Crimson Dragon King? Or is there some specific reason I need to have this crest? After Kaya died, I wandered for many years, and once my mind calmed, I finally started thinking, how many ever years have passed, how much ever the world changed, quietly but surely, the powers of the white, the blue, and the green dragons are being passed on to new generations. Normally, even a single rift puts such villages in danger of being torn apart. But, despite the troubles and dangers they faced, the power of the dragons remained against all odds. It was as if a greater power was protecting them. Their descendants continued the bloodline. Only the yellow dragon was unable to pass on his power to someone else, and was given eternal life instead. The only purpose of the 4 dragons is to live and die for the Crimson Dragon King. Yeah, but the Crimson Dragon King is no longer here. Will the Crimson Dragon King come back? It's like, no. Is it possible? Will I see His Majesty again? It's like, maybe the 4 dragon warriors could unite once again? Even if we do, it's not as if Gwen and the others will come back. But However many years pass, his dragon crest never fades. The Crimson Dragon King might come back. Is that why I'm here? In that case, for now, I'll keep watch over the growth of the Crimson Dragon King's beloved nation. Be it centuries or millennia, perhaps there might be a 1 in a million chance that someday, I assume this is baby Zeno, and you see baby Zeno just kind of bathing in the river. And as he's going through the forest, climbs up a tree, you have a, hey there, and he comes across Zeno. You have, hello? So was this your seat? Apologies. And baby Gita's like, who are you? You don't seem like a bandit. Something about you. It's like, just an ordinary traveler. Don't you worry. Look at that, lad. The light of dawn. And Gita's like, I feel like that star's been calling to me. It's like, I see. Our crimson light has finally been born. It's a crimson light? It's like, well, whether they become a true light or not depends on them. I've been waiting 1,000 years or 2,000. Doesn't matter. I can wait a little longer. It's like, hey, something about you. Have a little achoo. And Zeno's just like, if you bathe so early, you'll catch a cold. And he's like, it's fine. It's like nasty scars you've got there. So it looks like his predecessor did it. So they'll fade when you get bigger. Gita's like, I don't care either way. Every time people from my village see my back, they pity me. So I bathe first thing in the morning while everyone's asleep. And you have like, I've spoken too freely. I shouldn't have let my guard down in front of a stranger. It's like, who are you? You have White Dragon, where are you? You have an oops. It's like, bye for now, lad. He's like, oh, are you? Could you be? It's like, if you're lucky, we'll meet again. I'm sure of it. You have White Dragon, are you all right? A suspicious fellow, after him. He goes, stop. It's like, huh? It's like, don't follow him. As you bonk, 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 as you see baby Sinha, as Zeno's the one that tosses the ball to him. So adorable. Like, that's for you. It's like, it's a gift. You see baby Sinha just like, thank you. As he bows, he drops it. Oh, so adorable. And Zeno picks it up and gives it back to him. He's like, you have a blue dragon. Quit wandering about. It's like, oh, like, sorry to bother you. It's like his predecessor doesn't have long to live. He says, take good care of that young man, okay? It's like, I will. It's like, we'll meet again. When we do, let's play together. It's like, who was that? It's like, he gave me this. A merchant, huh? It's like, no, a yellow dragon. It's like, what are you talking about? And you see him also coming in to, the baby Jayhawk. And he goes, if you saw this, you'd be furious, Shooten. It's so foolish. No one in this world could ever truly chain the Green Dragon down. You have a Fuish, and the Crimson Dragon King spirit has finally been reborn in this land. Has he come to protect a nation, to create a nation? Or has he returned for the sake of the dragon warriors who've yearned for him for so long? I'm going to take another journey. Whatever path the new Crimson Dragon takes might finally give my existence meaning again. My wish might be granted. It's fine. Zeno was good at waiting. And you see a no, it was like, Zeno! And as he wakes up, it's like, how long are you going to sleep? It's past noon. It's like, to think they say old people wake up early. It's like, you must be exhausted from everything that happened. Let's let him rest. He goes, all of you, come closer. It's like, huh? What is it? Does it hurt to move? It's like, closer, closer. The guy just drags them all in for a group hug. He's like, what is it? It's like, is it a game? There now. It's like, look how big you've all gotten. Yeah, bonus chapter, we apologize for our carelessness. Yeah, we're heading to a nearby town to do some shopping today. These strange beasts will stand out too much, so guard the campsite while we're gone. That's the situation tonight. We're fending ourselves for dinner. Are you ready? It's like, more importantly, have you braced yourselves? It's like, braced ourselves. Yeah, listen closely, Gija. Yuna isn't around, right? Like, right. It's like, so let's just grill some fish instead of going overboard. You have translation, a huge crisis. It's like, I could whip something up. It's like, let's just grill some fish. You have Jayhawk and cook, but with Gija and the others around, he wants to play it safe. It's like, let's go fishing, Blue Dragon. It's like, how are you going to fish? It's like, we'll figure it out. We'll use earthworms as bait. And he's like, earthworms? So that's too many syllables. You see him bumping into Sinha, who tosses poor Ow into the river with a plish. You have Ow with a zloosh. Like, oh, honestly, I'll handle this. You all stay put. So you have an ow, and Senna just dives into the river, and Gija dives in after him. And Jaya has to rescue them both. So there's no way you can all swim wearing all those layers. He sees that he's lost his mask, so he tries to sneak a quick look at Senna's face. It's like, is there food yet? It's like, Zeno, don't start acting decrepit just because we know how old you are. Sorry for all the trouble we caused you, Jeha. It's like, as long as you understand, it's fine. Just go get a fire going. You see a bear coming in to the campsite, and like Jeha's like, or Gija's like, this is fantastic. We're having bear stew tonight. It's like, hold it right there. It's like, you can do it, White Dragon. And you see the bear just rushing Zeno. It's like, huh? He's coming this way? You have a Zeno. And you see later that Jay has been all bandaged up. And you have a thank you, Al. So I was trying to feed him a chestnut. I was like, but you should eat that. He's like, oh, Green Dragon, you're awake? It's like, huh? What happened? It's like, after you fought the bear, you needed a little rest and fell asleep. How are your injuries? I'm more concerned about this bandaging job than what's under it. It's like, it's no big deal. Huck's fist hurts more. It's like, Green Dragon, you don't need to protect Zeno. He'll be fine no matter what happens. Is that so? It's like, how forgetful of me. It's like, so cheeky. It's like, we never did make dinner. Dinner's ready and waiting. It's like, huh? It's like, see, bear stew. It's like, did you make this, Gija? It's surprisingly decent even though it looks messy. This guy just helped Zeno. It's like Sinha did too. It's like the wisdom of age. It's like, that's enough about Zeno's age. It's like, it's quite good, isn't it? It's like, you try to take on too much. You should leave things to us once in a while. It's like, I don't really... It's like, fine. That said, the fire's gotten out of hand. You see a foam as the tent goes up on fire. And you see later that night, Yun's all just nagging him, going, how do these things always happen? It's like, I knew I needed to keep an eye on them. So, thoughts on this chapter. Sure volume, I guess. I feel like this is definitely one of the darker volumes we've gotten in this series. Especially with like the horror elements of like, Zeno's arm like reattaching itself as the limbs got severed was like very, very dark, very, very effective. So was his backstory. I think again, I think I mentioned this in his the last chapter review or chapter. Sorry, I keep saying chapter in the last read through. But I feel like Zeno definitely has the most tragic, if not one of the most tragic backstories out of all the dragons. So this volume kind of really cemented that with, all the tragedies that kind of befell him over his lifespan. So yeah, emotionally, this was just like a very, very solid volume, hitting all the gut punches. So we got a little bit more info about like the Crimson Dragon King, at least personality wise. Like we got a little bit of a glimpse into like the history between the dragons and everything like that. The thing is, like, I still feel like at this point in the series, the mystical, like spiritual stuff still feels a little bit kind of separated and removed and kind of like adjacent to the main like historical like warring states kind of stuff. So I'm wondering like at which point that's gonna get tied in together a little bit more, because like we're kind of dancing around the whole idea of like like divine providence and like divine right to rule and all that, from like the dragon gods being like we came down to restore peace, etc., etc. But we haven't really kind of explored like what that means, like what that's supposed to do, what it's leading to, like if there's other kind of unexplained like powers and phenomenon in this world, because we haven't really seen anything outside of the dragons and their abilities relating to that. And again, so far it's been kind of, like I said, it's been kind of extraneous to everything that's happened. Like it's been like, yeah, that the abilities like help them fight and everything, but it hasn't really affected or the main plot a lot. So I'm kind of hoping we get a little bit more, like we're hoping we'll see that integrated more into the larger story. But yeah, like Zeno's backstory, completely heartbreaking, kind of unexpected. I don't think I was expecting that much it to be that tragic, but yeah, like I said, definite gut punch. Looking forward to hopefully learning more, a little bit more history in future arcs. But yeah, solid volume, liked it a lot. So yeah, so like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm gonna have these two volumes of Yona out today, and then hopefully some Spy Family and Kaiju reactions out today as well. Like I also said, I'm also gonna planning to be caught up with Akane by the end of the month, so we'll see how well that plan goes. Apart from that, read through stuff will continue. I'll try to get more Yona volumes sometime in December. Like I said, in the new year sometime, I'll plan for starting a new series then. So look forward to an announcement closer to that date. Like I also mentioned at the start, please do like, comment, subscribe, especially if you haven't already. Especially with Twitter uploading, this will be kind of the only way I can really kind of boost and promote my content. So if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, especially because it helps the algorithm a lot because it kind of shows YouTube that, the content is worth promoting, and that helps me out a lot so I can continue kind of making this stuff. And now that Twitter is imploding, I would really like to get closer to my goal of getting to 169 subscribers because I like the number. So if you'd like to help me out with that, that would be greatly appreciated. And until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.